You know, the videos are called Marc Sims Chicago, but one day I really should go give you a tour. Don't feel like it tonight. I'm taking the show at night for a change. Don't feel like it tonight, but one day I have to maybe, just, take the video camera and take some pictures of the old neighborhoods and new neighborhoods, the north side, the south side, the west side, the far east side, over there by the airport, the Rogers Park, Edgewater, Roseland, Pilsen. It's a very large city. It's a great town. We love Chicago. And I am Chicago.
But we do need to remind ourselves that so many of the disparities that exist between the African American community and the larger American community today can be traced directly to inequalities passed on from an earlier generation that suffered under the brutal legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. Segregated schools were and are inferior schools. We still haven't fixed them 50 years after Brown versus Board of Education. And the inferior education they provided, then and now, helps explain the pervasive achievement gap between today's black and white students. Legalized discrimination, where blacks were prevented, often through violence, from owning property, where loans were not granted to African American business owners, where black homeowners could not access FHA mortgages, where blacks were excluded from unions, or the police force, or the fire department, meant that black families could not amass any meaningful wealth to bequeath to future generations. That history helps explain the wealth and income gap between blacks and whites, and the concentrated pockets of poverty that persist in so many of today's urban and rural communities. A lack of economic opportunity among black men, and the shame and frustration that came from not being able to provide for one's family contributed to the erosion of black families, a problem that welfare policies for many years may have worsened, and the lack of basic services in so many urban black neighborhoods. Parks for kids to play in, police walking the beat, regular garbage pickup, building code enforcement, all helps create a cycle of violence, blight, and neglect that continues to haunt us. This is the reality in which Reverend Wright and other African Americans of his generation grew up.